Welcome to Bryan High School for tonight's non-league boys basketball action. The Fairview Apaches are in town tonight, face the Bryan Golden Bears. Bryan, Arnold, and Tim Meister here with you to bring the action tonight. I just made it back from Lyman. Lady Bears today went down to Elida, held on for a good non-league road win, something that they desperately needed, got themselves back to 500. Meanwhile, the Bears last night suffered another league loss to Liberty Center. Things got away from them, I'd like to say in the second half, but really the last three quarters of the game when Liberty really started to crank the pressure up a little bit, get into the rhythm offensively. The Bears didn't have much of an answer. So best thing about that is Bears are back on the floor again tonight, a chance to get things right after a shoot around, walking through things today. So Coach Meister will see if the Bears are able to make some adjustments and improvement tonight.
Yeah, well said. Last night they were played about the perfect first quarter. Second quarter, Liberty just started to impose their will upon the Bears, and then things just got out of hand and kind of avalanched on them. And that's something that they kind of played into Liberty's hands. They turned it over. They took some ill-advised shots. Defensively, they gave up so much inside the paint. But the good thing is, you're right, they're back on. And the tough thing about being an athlete is you have to have a short memory. You can't let last night's game affect tonight's game, but in the same breath, you have to learn from what happened last night and then take it with you into tonight. So it's kind of a fine line to walk. So as I said last night when we went off the air, I fully expect this team to come out and compete tonight. If they're any type of competitive athlete, which we know they are, I think you're going to see a good effort out of Bryan.
Well, it's Bryan and Fairview, non-league, renew the rivalry. The Bears and the Apaches been going at it for a long time now. No love lost between the two. I always enjoy tonight because you see those Fairview/Bryan people come out. Those Bryan people that you don't see all year long, and then Fairview's in town. Oh, maybe we'll actually come out and watch a game. Saw more than a few of those walk through the door tonight wearing their purple and gold, cheering for the black and gold more than likely. So you got the Golden Bear Sports Network. It's our countdown to tip-off. Bryan, Arnold, and Tim Meister here with you. We're going to come back, talk a little bit more about the ball game, get the keys taken care of, and get ourselves ready for some non-league action here on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at Bryan High School, Tim Meister, Bryan Arnold here with you to bring the non-league action between the Apaches and the Golden Bears. Today's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veterans Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill in Low, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. Last time these two teams met was last January 25th. Bryan defeated Fairview 59-43. Prior to that, the Bears hadn't pulled a win out since 2022 in a low-scoring affair. So good opportunity tonight for the Bears to maybe try to build off of that win last year. You know, one of the things you look at here as we talk about the two teams and get into some information, what you're going to see from Fairview is an older, experienced team, and you're going to see that youth of the Golden Bears with a couple of senior starters, one one more senior that comes off the bench after the injury to Jack Kennedy ended his season, and then it's a lot of sophomores and freshmen that are going to play for the Bears against an older and more experienced Fairview team.
Yeah, Fairview plays nothing but juniors and seniors on their varsity team. Jake Panicle's done a nice job of taking that program over and building it, doing it the right way, not rushing younger kids up when you don't have to. But he also has the luxury of having some pretty nice athletes that are juniors and seniors. Some of those kids we see on the football field, some of those kids are excellent multi-sport athletes. But again, at this point of the season, as I was reminding my freshmen and sophomores, you're not freshmen and sophomores anymore. You've been through the wars, you've played. It's time you get this figured out. And again, I'm not trying to sound harsh, but we know the Bears have played terrific competition, and that's fine. But at some point, you got to beat somebody. And you got to beat somebody good, and I think that's the next step for this team.
And this would be no better night than tonight. The one thing that we know for sure about this 10-mile separated rivalry is that Fairview really enjoys to beat Bryan. Bryan enjoys beating Fairview. And when the rivalry is strong and when things are competitive, it's a great ball game. Again, with the two communities really getting behind their teams and getting excited about the game. So if the Bears can show up tonight, shake off a little bit of last night, find a way to put the ball in the basket, maybe keep this game interesting in the second half, it could go anywhere. Get a young team believing a little bit.
Yeah, and last night's game was a perfect prep for this game because we said there's going to be some similarities between Fairview and Liberty. I don't think Fairview is the athletic, physical team that Liberty is, although they're going to be very physical and very athletic. So the Bears got exposed to that.
Last night, Fairview defeated Antwerp in GMC play. Fairview comes in at 9-5, as Coach Meister said, under the leadership of Jake Panico. They're 3-1 in the GMC. The Bears are 4-10 and 1-2 in the league after last night's loss to Liberty Center. Double weekends last weekend, double weekend this weekend, a double weekend next weekend, and none of them really easy. The young Bears getting challenged by some strong teams right now, so seeing how they respond after last night's game, seeing what kind of effort they can put on the floor. A lot of this will come down. Coach Parker and his staff is seeing how the kids respond and how they compete. You can't always control what's on the scoreboard. You can't always control all those things, but you can always control your effort. And can they see the effort that they want to see for 4 quarters tonight out of this young team?
Yeah, and I'll add to that, not only compete, but execute. I mean, you can compete as hard as you want, but if you don't execute and know what you have to do and what you not have to do, and you fail to do those things, then you just have a team playing hard without a purpose. I think last night that kind of got a little bit like that. Not that they weren't trying to execute, but they kind of got away and got caught up into that trap. You alluded to several times last night of getting that pace of play up, and that Liberty kind of lulled us in and got us sped up. And that's something that cannot happen tonight. We have to, playing hard and being sped up are two different things. For young teams, sometimes that's hard to differentiate. But I agree with what you said. We had to play hard and execute while we're playing hard.
And I had a chance to watch us play Fairview a couple of times this summer in our summer league nights and things like that. And that's the one thing I think is a strength of Fairview's. They've got some size, 6'6" and 6'9" inside, but they've got some athletic guards. Those kids you talked about from the football team with Ollinger and William Zedike and some other athletes there that were receivers, quarterback, defensive backs, and they are really good when they can do what Liberty Center had success with last night, which is press and trap and speed your guards up and make them uncomfortable. So the Bears are going to have to do a really good job of not allowing that to happen. Yeah. All right, we're going to take one more break here. Come back, we'll talk about keys to the game, meet tonight's officials. We'll be right back on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan Built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan Built.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Back at Bryan High School, as we're about 4.5 minutes away from tipping off tonight's non-league game between Fairview and Bryan. So let's take a minute here to talk about keys to the game for both teams. Keys to the game brought to you by the Carlin Company Realty and Auctioneers, your hometown real estate company for over 45 years. They've consistently remained #1 in Williams County and the surrounding areas since 2007. Call us for all of your real estate needs. So Coach Meister, let's talk keys here for both clubs.
Let's start first with Fairview Apaches. First key that Coach Panico wants is to run the floor. He knows his kids are really good in transition when the game gets to the pace of play where they can get it sped up and they can get some transition baskets. That's where they are at their best. Talk on defense. Again, he wants to make sure that they're going to switch up, play some man, play some zone. Communication is a key. And then finally win the rebounding battle. And that's, again, we've talked about that. Every coach has that as a key. And he knows, he's scouted as well, that when we give up a lot of offensive rebounds and second chances, that spells trouble for us. And like any good offense, when you get second chances, that really helps you.
All right, so then let's look at the keys then for the Golden Bears tonight.
Yeah, the Golden Bears, I think this is first and foremost is handle the pressure. They have to take care of the basketball, not turn it over, not give Fairview uncontested, easy transition baskets. Rebound, that will offset that last key that Fairview got, not give the Apaches second chance points. Then finally take care of the basketball. And that kind of goes with key one and handle the pressure is you can't turn it over. So just because you break the pressure doesn't mean that your job is over, because Fairview will trap and do some other things in the half court. So it's continuing to take care of the ball and making sure you're getting good offensive possessions. When you're a team that doesn't shoot it well, that means you have to make sure you give yourself as many chances on offense by not turning it over and getting good shots.
And we talked a little bit about how Fairview likes to press and likes to get early in the year. That was mainly how they were playing, was trying to get into turnovers, push the tempo a little bit, and go fast. Now they're slowing things down a little bit more patient on offense, trying to run a little bit more in the half court. And I can tell you just by looking at some numbers, I'm impressed. Really good balance on out of their lineup for scoring. Logan Olinger comes in averaging about 10 a game. Levi Panico, the leading scorer, is just over 10 a game. Jonas Schinninger at 7. Hayden Bach at 9. Gavin Mead at 7. Logan Mosier at 9. Then you got guys at 4 and 2 and 3 and 3. Everybody contributes. Everybody does a little bit, and it doesn't look like anyone has to do everything.
And that speaks volumes to the maturity, because last year Jake Panico, or excuse me, his son, he called him
Levi, yeah.
Levi Panico. You know, he averaged about 16.5, 17 points a game. And they weren't nearly as successful as this year, where he's only averaging 10. But he does such a good job of keeping everybody else involved. And once again, we're going to see a coach's son play tonight. And he's going to handle the ball a lot. So a young man that understands basketball, been around basketball, and has a really good intelligence about the game.
Yeah, coach's son, seniors, juniors, guys that have played a lot of basketball, played a lot of football games here as of late. We saw that last night with Liberty Center too, some older guys that have played in some big-time situations. All of that stuff makes a difference, and all that stuff really benefits your team when they've been in those situations. I'm going to meet our officials for tonight's game. Our 3 officials tonight are Bryce Bailey, Zachary Yeckley, and Dylan Woods. The officials brought to you by Tri-State Vision Center, serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all of your eye care needs. This has been the Bryan Golden Bears Countdown to Tip-Off, starting lineups and more coming up on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
All right, about 30 seconds left on the pregame clock. Both teams getting last-minute instructions from their coaches at their benches. A little bit of, in 2 communities this close, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And there's some Fairview people on the Bryan side, some Bryan people on the Fairview side, and the communities are definitely mixed. Some connections here, too. Coach Parker and Coach Panico know each other from coaching in the Fairview program a couple of years ago. So a lot of familiarity here, but whether it's between the adults or between the student-athletes that are in the game, which always adds a little bit of spice to this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Bryan and Fairview was always a good rivalry in all their sports, but basketball-wise, I think the late coach Ralph Rufer, who was just a tremendous coach at Fairview, he really emphasized this Bryan game. To him, that was super important, and he made it important to the community. So again, it's just kind of continued from that point forward.
All right, we're going to take it down to public address announcer Aaron Hughes to get things going from the scorer's table. Tonight's national anthem brought to you, as always, by the Veteran Services.
The officials assigned us the event requirements set by OHSAA.
Starting lineup tonight brought to you by Bryan Ford Lincoln.
Our officials are Mr. Bryce Bailey,
920 North Main
Mr.
Street,
Dylan Woods,
Main
and Mr. Joshua Freeze. Gentlemen, welcome to Bryan. In order to make today's contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and community in a positive and respectful manner. That means follow the rules, speak and act responsibly, and show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, the officials and coaches, the administration, authority figures, and of course, your team and their opponents. Let's make tonight's contest great. Remember to respect the game. Thank you. Now to meet the teams. First for the guests on the scoreboard are the starters for the Fairview Apaches. Starters for Fairview, number 3, Logan Olinger. Number 4, Levi Panico. Number 13, Hayden Buck. Number 24, Gavin Mead. And number 40, Logan Mosier. Varsity coaches, Jake Panico, assisted by Luke Schenninger, Dave Marshall, and Joe Prince. Go ahead, get on your feet, Ryan, for Yo and a guard of 5'10", sophomore number 3, Bryce and a guard, a 6-foot senior number 10, Goose Miller. And a guard, a 6-foot freshman number 14, Jake Arnold. And a forward, a 6'2" sophomore number 12, Brett McGill. And forward, 6'5" senior number 34, Tucker Watson. Varsity coaches Jacob Parker, assisted by Casey Spindle, Shannon Bassett, and Maurice Stewart. Gentlemen, let's play ball.
Starting lineups for tonight, again brought to you by Bryan Ford Lincoln Mercury. For Fairview, we'll have junior Logan Olinger, senior Levi Panico, junior Hayden Bach, junior Gavin Mead, and junior Logan Mosier. For the Bears, we have sophomore Bryce Welling, senior Tucker Miller, sophomore Rhett McGill, freshman Jake Arnold, and senior Tucker Watson. Watson and Mosier will jump it at center circle here to get things underway from Bryan High School. Opening tip comes down to Olinger for Fairview. He gets it to Panico, back to Ollinger. Bears are in their zone. Panico's got it at about 8 feet. Finds a cutting Mead. Back to Panico. Mead up top. Fairview kind of probing around the Bryan defense a little bit. Mead at the left elbow, skips to the corner. Now back into Mead. He draws a lot of company from the Bears. Ball taken away by Tucker Miller. Up to Bryce Welling. Welling attacks to the rim. Can't get it to go. A lot of bodies around for the ball, and Levi Panico comes away with the defensive rebound. Ball quickly ahead to Mead. Mead gets turned away by Tucker Miller. Ball finds Fairview in the left corner. Three-pointer won't go. A miss was from Hayden Bach. Rhett McGill and Levi Panico, I think, battling for that rebound. Ball went out of bounds off of McGill. And there is just a constant issue for the Bears, not being able to defend the out-of-bounds play. You and I could have converted on that one, Coach Meister.
Yeah, back in the day, maybe.
I'm not so sure. He didn't move very far for it.
Yeah, that's just been a problem area for the Bears. They just can't give up easy looks like that.
Fairview with the 2-0 lead after the easy bucket on the out-of-bounds play. Nice find by Bryce Welling. Good backdoor. Rhett McGill got lost on the baseline. Bryce Welling penetration drew the defense. McGill finished off glass. Ball quickly up. Three-pointer hoisted quickly, but again by Hayden Bach. And we're going to get a push inside by Fairview. That's going to be on Gavin Mead. His first foul of the contest.
First couple possessions, Fairview has beaten Bryan down the floor. As soon as that shot goes up, they're releasing one of their wings. So we're going to have to adjust by making sure our 1 or 2 guards get back, because they're going to get some clean looks if we don't.
Fairview in the 1-3-3 look with some half-court or three-quarter court pressure. Tucker Miller's pass gets deflected out of bounds, so the Bears will have it on their end in front of the bleachers.
You see Fairview switching back to the man. Coach Panico will switch up defenses, so Bryan's going to have to do a good job of recognizing what Fairview's in each time down the floor.
Arnold goes baseline, finds Tucker Miller. Tucker Watson now, left elbow, 16-footer, no good off back iron. Ball gets batted out of bounds. Looks like it goes off of Bryan, so Fairview will get possession. Good look for Watson, and he can hit that shot. Just hesitated really a little too much. I think he can catch and shoot that all day.
Yeah, again, kind of like last night. Really good looks the first possession for the Bears. They've done a nice job of getting quality shots.
Fairview breaks the Bryan pressure. Mead gets it to Panico. Panico's three is good. Fairview with a 5-2 lead on the main stop scoreboard. Fairview back into their 1-3-1 pressure. Arnold works against Panico up top, gets caught in a trap, and then in the pivot, steps back across, turns the ball over with the over and back. So our first look at a little bit of pressure, or a little bit of trouble with the Fairview pressure. .549 left, opening quarter here. Fairview with the early 5-2 lead on the main stop scoreboard. Main stop's open when you need them, always near a main stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursdays every Thursday. Fairview in the half court. Good look down low. Somehow 6'9" Logan Mosier got lost down low. Bears couldn't find him. A nice pass from Logan Ollinger, and the layup's good, and a 7-2 lead for Fairview here in the opening quarter. Arnold hands off to Tucker Miller, swings to Rhett McGill to Bryce Welling. Bryce Welling back to McGill, top of the key three. Rhett McGill knocks down the three-pointer, and that's a good sign for the Bears.
Yeah, if Rhett McGill can find his offensive rhythm and give the Bears another score, that certainly helps them offensively.
Rhett's definitely a shooter. Again, the Bears get beat down low. Easy bucket for Mosier. Fairview not having a lot of trouble throwing over the top of the Bears' pressure and then outnumbering the Bears in the paint behind the defense. Welling gets to McGill. Tucker Miller drops for Tucker Watson. His shot's blocked by Mosier, tipped around, gathered in by Mead. Coach Panico wants his team to run as Levi Panico pushes, finds Mosier in the paint, kicks opposite, but that ball's picked off. Good hustle play by Bryce Welling. Welling now works against Mead in the backcourt. Gets it to Jake Arnold on the right wing. Tucker Watson, right elbow, swings to Tucker Miller. Shot faked, attack, loses a dribble. McGill picks it up. Finds Bryce Welling. Welling looks right side. Working against a couple different players there. We're going to get a Fairview foul. That's going to be on number 5, Jonah Schiniger, who's checked in for Coach Panico. Another sub coming in, Noah Schiniger, will check in for Logan Mosier. Bears inbound under their basket. Arnold to McGill to Tucker Watson. Watson, a couple dribbles taken away. Tucker Miller picks up his dribble, gets poked away. And then we're getting an offensive foul called against Tucker Watson. And Coach Parker thought that was a little bit of a flop. I'm not so sure he was wrong. So,
looks
first
like
foul on Watson.
Looks like the official signal that he dipped his shoulder in, but I don't think he did. I think he just took a power dribble. To me, that's a play on, but we'll see. That's a consistent call the whole night.
Right. So Fairview's got it. 9-5 lead. Panico, deep right corner 3, no good off back iron. Rebound down to Noah Schiniger to Meade. Ollinger now tries the right side. Nope, sorry, that's William Zedike in the game for Ollinger. He's got it on the right block in the walk away. Tries to bounce it through to a cutting Panico. Didn't get it to him. Arnold picked it off, takes it to the rim, doesn't finish. Rebound to the Bears. Arnold to Watson to Miller. Now up top to Welling. And we're going to get a timeout here. Coach Parker wants a 30-second timeout. Timeout sponsored by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. S&S does it the right way the first time. Call 419-630-0729 today. So Coach Meister, 9-5 Fairview leads early. Golden Bears, a little bit of trouble with some of that pressure, but
they've
more
only
good than bad.
Yeah, they've only turned it over twice, but both times led to Fairview baskets, and that's what we talked about early on. So take the 4 points off the board. This is a 5-5 game, or maybe in the Bears' favor. So timeout-wise, I got to believe that Coach Parker talked to his kids about being strong with the ball because Fairview is trapped somewhat off a couple of misses they've had. I'm sure he watched the film last night and he saw it, and he's going to try to trap and pressure us as much as possible. I think he's also going to tell them that when you put the ball on the floor and go inside, they're not going to call the reaches, the grabs. You know, they're going to let you play, so you have to be strong with the ball and get it to the basket, but make sure your dribbles have a purpose, not just dribble for the sake of dribbling.
Bears have it now in the half court after the timeout. Watson to Tucker Miller. Tucker Miller gets it to Jake Arnold. High right point. He gets it to Tucker Watson. 17 feet. The Bears swinging around the perimeter.
Yeah, we got a mismatch down low. I'd like to see him get to the big fella right there.
Watson, yeah, we're going to get Schiniger got bumped really hard and no whistle on that. Wow, I can't believe we got the offensive call on that earlier and then nothing on the defensive bump. Fairview tries to force it into Zedike. That ball's taken away by Jake Arnold. He'll push, pick up, and bring it into the half court. Attacks into the paint, leaves the floater short. Bryce Welling picks up the 3, no good off back iron. Zedike has it, fires the ball ahead to Logan Ollinger at the rim, misses the layup. Picked up by Fairview. That shot's missed also, and Tucker Miller has the defensive rebound for the Bears. So the Bears avoid a couple of point-blank shots there from Fairview. Good hustle back.
Fairview getting that easy run out. They have to get back. Somebody, 1 or 2 guard, has to get back on those Fairview shots.
Bryce Welling on the right side with the basketball. Up top to Rhett McGill. Tucker Miller. Trying to get a little aggressive there out of Noah Schiniger. He fouled the last time down the floor, so he shouldn't be too concerned about getting whistled for that one.
If I'm Coach Parker, you know what I'm questioning? Why that's not intentional.
Yeah.
Because it was a cutter. It wasn't even the guy he was guarding. If he reached out and literally forearmed him across it. I mean, that's a good way to let games get out of control.
Zedike, Schiniger, and who was our other? They came 3 on and 3 off for Fairview. Hunter Watson is checked in for Tucker Miller for the Bears. Nice pass by Rhett McGill. Gets it to Jake Arnold underneath. Can't convert the layup. A couple of good looks for the Bears. Not able to convert. Fairview pushes all the way down the floor. A little bit out of control there for Brody Williams, and he throws it away, trying to find Levi Panico in the left corner. So turnover for Fairview. 1:51 left here in the opening quarter. 9-5 Fairview with the early lead. Ball inbounded to Hunter Watson. Watson works against Brody Williams. Gets it across the timeline back to Bryce Welling. Welling bluffs the handoff, attacks the basket against Williams. Blocked from behind by Panico. Tucker Watson had it. Bryce Welling got it back, and then we're going to get a jump ball called, tied up by Panico. So Bears will have it out of bounds underneath their basket. 1:34 left here in the opening quarter.
See if the Bears can execute an out of bounds play here and get themselves a good look.
Rip Miller gets the inbound pass, swung around the horn, ends up in Jake Arnold's hands. He works top of the key. He bluffs the handoff, floater off glass and in. Freshman knocks it in off glass, 9-7 Fairview's lead. Bears back into their token pressure, just trying to slow Fairview's transition down a little bit. Panico now works up top, finds Ollinger, jump stops, kicks to the corner. Left corner three is no good. Rebound down to Bryce Welling. Welling's going to push, right block, jump stop, attack. He draws a whole lot of company, and then we're going to get a jump ball called on that block shot. Yeah. Last time down the floor, that was Hayden Bach, another three that he missed in the left corner.
Yeah, Bryce went into traffic there and drew three people. That's one where you probably may want to kick that back out. Again, like the aggressiveness, but you also have to understand that when you're triple team, probably going to have to just kick it out or bring it out and run something. That's just recognizing what your situation is.
Panico at the free throw line, lob into Mosier, poked away by Rhett McGill. Great hustle play by McGill. And then Hunter Watson on the floor after the loose ball. He gets it, and that'll be the third jump ball called here in the first quarter. Better be careful. JV girls basketball game is going to break out if they're not careful. McGill will inbound to Arnold in the backcourt, working against Panico. Yeah. The double team gets run by. Arnold will scoop, left hand finish, off glass and good. Foul on, looked like Williams, 22, Brody Williams. Fairview tried to run an extra defender at Arnold in the backcourt, and then I think that just got them all out of whack as far as rotation on the back end.
And I'll tell you the other thing that happened is that finally the other four Bryan guys stepped up when they saw the double team go. But I think Jake just said, I'm getting to the rack, and I love that mentality. It's a good take by him. Again, you want people to not pressure you. That's what you do, is you score against their pressure.
Free throw woes continue for the Bears. Arnold's free throw percentage is barely over his GPA at this point, but the Bears did get the ball back, have it out of bounds underneath their own basket. Swung in. Arnold is going to try right side. Hands off to Bryce Welling. Cooper Beltran is checked in, throws the flare to Welling. Back to Watson. Watson gets a good look at three off the front iron, and Hunter Watson has really been, he's come off the bench and knocked down some big shots the last 2 weeks, just short off front iron as Bach will hoist another three and miss again. So that's the way things will end here at the end of 9-9 in Bryan, between Bryan and Fairview. We'll take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network and be back with second quarter action.
Fallen on hard times? At the Williams County Veteran Service Office, we're here when life gets tough. We provide emergency financial assistance for housing, food, and utilities, plus transportation to VA medical appointments. Whether you need help today or just someone who understands, we're ready to serve. Please reach out to see what we can do for you, because the only veteran we can't assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
Second quarter action about to get underway here at Bryan High School. Brian Arnold and Tim Meister with you on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Ball game tied at 9 after 1. A lot of good activity, a little bit of cold shooting. Second night of a back-to-back for both teams. Takes a little bit of time, I think, to get those legs back. Bears stay in their zone against Fairview. Ollinger at the top, swings to Meade. Meade to Panico. Panico surveys. He finds Meade at the left elbow. Back to Panico, back to Meade. A good ball movement by Fairview against the Bryan zone. And good rotation by the Bears. Jonathan and Schiniger finds Gavin Meade inside. He dumps to Logan Mosier. Logan Mosier gets an easy bucket. 6'9" is 6'9", but right now it's a little bit too easy for the big fella as far as the Bears are concerned.
You know, they haven't made Logan Mosier take a shot over a defender. Everything has been uncontested in front. I'd like to think you can make a basket over somebody.
Fairview showed a 2-2-1 that time. Bears threw it away against that pressure. But I think it was Mead that missed the layup as he tried to attack. Ball's tied up underneath. We had a jump ball called that should go to Bryan. And it looks like that's what we'll do. But then one official pointed for Bryan to get the ball, and the other one called a foul on Tucker Miller, number 10 for Bryan. So first foul for Miller, first foul for the Bears this quarter. Fairview with the inbounds underneath. Ball poked away by McGill, picked up by Watson. Watson will work it up. Dribbles past the trap, finds McGill, left corner, gets it up top to Arnold. Arnold swings to Tucker Miller as the Bears get into their half-court offense. It's like Fairview showing a little bit of a 2-3 zone now. Arnold back to Miller. Those two playing catch on the right side. Miller into Cooper Beltran. Back out to Tucker Miller. Swung around to Watson. Watson tried to force it into the high post there, and that ball gets picked off just a little bit slow. If it's going to go there, it's got to go right away.
Yeah, what's open against that zone, Coach Arnold, is that walkaway spot. They just got to get that thing down to the baseline and then let that high post roll down.
Mead swings it over to Schiniger, takes a deep three, no good. And we get a defensive rebound by Rhett McGill and a foul in the backcourt by Levi Panico on Arnold. So first foul for Panico, first foul for Fairview in the quarter. Fairview with the 11-9 lead here early in the second quarter. 3 subs in for the Bears. Welling, Watson, and Kerr check in. Arnold, Beltran, and McGill check out. Those 3 join Tucker Miller and Bryce Welling as the Bryan 5 on the floor right now. Watson skip to Welling. Welling attacks. I'm not so sure we want to attack 6'9". Welling's he picked up the miss. Good hustle by Bryce. Found Easton Kerr in the corner, but he was fouled by number 5, Jonas Schiniger. Back-to-back nights with I don't know, brothers or cousins. Last night was brothers. I'm thinking about just calling them thing 1 and thing 2 because the Baden-Hops, at least I had met before, so I could at least tell when I was looking. Right now I'm doing a lot of sheet checking as Jonas Schiniger, Levi Panico, and Gavin Mead check out for Fairview. Brody Williams back in. William Zedike back in. It looks like the 3rd sub was maybe Ollinger, but doesn't matter. 5 on the floor for both teams. Fairview now back into man-to-man as the Bears work through their offense. Watson working up top against Brody Williams.
Yeah, Bears trying to give that a little Princeton look to get Mosier out.
Tucker Watson goes at Mosier, and Mosier sends that one back at him. So the Bears are going to have to come up with a new plan against the 6'9" Mosier. Long arms, long wingspan. Zedike finds Mosier, baseline jumper, no good off front iron. Defensive rebound comes down to Bryce Welling. Quickly ahead to Tucker Miller, catches, dribbles, finds Tucker Watson, throws it up, gets fouled, bucket goes, and the harm. You're going to get a foul on Brody Williams, number 22. That'll be his 2nd and Fairview's 3rd of the quarter.
Yeah, so on both ends of the floor, a nice adjustment by the Bears. That time when Mosier caught the ball, they forced him into a 10-foot jumper, was not successful. And then on the other end, instead of trying to take it right into him, what they did was Watson made a nice recognition and just got some distance before he shot, was successful. Again, that's just something you have to recognize where Mosier's at on the floor.
And Watson's free throw is no good. He's really been the one Bear who can make free throws, and unfortunately he does not convert the 3-point play. So game tied at 11, 5:12 left here in the first half at Bryan on a low-scoring, slow start to this game offensively. Williams trapped in the paint, kicks to Ollinger, gets it down to Mosier, back to Ollinger, bluffs the 3, attacks in the paint, hands off to Brody Williams. He'll fire at 3, and that's good. First 3 points for Williams, second 3 made for Fairview, and 14-11 lead for Fairview. Bears break the pressure. Arnold up top now. Fairview in a 2-3 zone. Welling finds Watson. There's a great set play against a 2-3 zone. Guy I used to know loved to screen the bottom of a zone, and got a great look for Tucker Watson.
Nice set play, nice roll by Tucker Watson. Nice left-hand move.
Zedike penetrates, kicks back to Ollinger. Ollinger's drive taken away. Williams going to try again. Off front iron doesn't go. Rebound to Mosier. Skip to Bach. Left corner three. Bach finally gets one to go. So back-to-back threes for Fairview. Opens up a 4-point lead for the Apaches. 17-13 halfway through the second frame in Bryan. Tucker Miller turns the ball over in the backcourt. Had his pocket picked by Brody Williams, who finds a cutting Logan Ollinger, who's fouled, I think, by Miller. Yeah, fouled by Tucker Miller in the backcourt. So Logan Ollinger will go to the Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, third generation, family owned, general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712. First free throw for Ollinger is no good. Noah Schiniger will check in for Logan Mosier. Second free throw is front iron, back iron, front iron again, and falls. Give Fairview a 5-point lead on the main stop scoreboard.
You know, last night, this is where the Bears really started to just let things get out of hand. So right now, we got to lean on, okay, what we figure out, let's make sure that doesn't happen again and get ourselves a basket. Nice look by Jake Arnold.
Great break of the pressure there by the Bears. Good movement by the Bears. Arnold found a cutting Watson on the backside for the layup. Now Fairview works against the Bryan zone. Bryan in man-to-man now. Going to come out of that zone, change things up, try to find him after a couple of made threes by Fairview. Williams works against Bryce Welling, picks up his dribble. Williams Zedike goes to the basket, attacks, and finishes at the rim. First bucket for Williams Zedike. Bears now work against this Fairview pressure. Tucker Miller in the backcourt gets to Welling, over to Arnold. Arnold now works right side, hands off to Tucker Miller. Swinging around the horn, Tucker Miller gets it inside, little baby hook. Nice job going to his left shoulder there, finishing with the baby hook, and Fairview quickly the other way. Bach goes at Watson, misses, but it's off Watson and back to Bach. Panico's three-pointer doesn't go. Rebound to Welling, and now the Bears have numbers. 3-on-2 coming the other way. Bryce
nice
Welling.
Look.
Bounce pass to Tucker Miller, who can't finish. Levi Panico picks it up. Ball gets poked away from behind by Tucker Watson. And he's going to get flashed for his second foul. That's a tough one for Tucker Watson.
Yeah, especially when he's so far from the basket, 70 feet away, and your center fouls. He needs to just get out of there and get back and play defense.
Yep. Just so hard sometimes to not reach and poke.
It is. It is. It's something that basketball coaches have preached for 150 years, and they're going to preach the next 150, and kids are still going to do it.
And they're still going to do it, absolutely. So 3 fouls for both teams here, 2.5 left in the second quarter. Fairview leads 20-13, set play to Panico. Kicks it back to Noah Schiniger, drives in against Jake Arnold. He ties him up, and that'll be a turnover by Fairview. Jump ball goes to the Bears. Fairview will get back into their full court pressure.
Cooper Vollmer checks in. He had another outstanding JV basketball game tonight. I believe he had 18 and really played well.
Bears quickly against that Fairview pressure again. Get it down the floor. Arnold pulls out to Bryce Welling. Bears down by 3, and we're going to get a reach called on Levi Panico, and that'll be 2 on the senior, trying to be aggressive up top. A little handsy. And that's a whistle the Bears are going to have to get, because if Fairview can get too handsy, they're definitely the older and more physical of the two teams. Tucker Miller will inbound from the far side. Fairview in man-to-man. Bryce Welling with the ball in the backcourt working against Brody Williams. Walks it across, gets it to Tucker Miller. Cooper Vollmer in the ball game now for the Bears, gets a touch. Welling works baseline. Kicks it out to Jake Arnold. 3 on the way. Short off front iron. Good tip out by Rhett McGill. Bryce Welling picks it up. Great job keeping the ball alive by Rhett McGill. Bryce Welling knocks it down, and it's a 1-point lead for Fairview.
Nice job by the Bears of holding their composure, keeping this lead down, getting turnovers and cutting into it, giving themselves a chance to take the lead now.
Bryce Welling forces a turnover, gets it to Jake Arnold. He loses a handle going into the paint. Good opportunity. The Bears had a chance to take the lead there. Arnold just lost the handle. Diagonal to a running Panico. Ball now inside to Williams. Works against Rhett McGill. Tries to throw it up. Can't get it to go. Ball ends up in Meade's hands. Panico long diagonal to Ollinger, works into the paint against Welling. Kicks to Noah Schiniger, his left side three, no good. Rebound comes down to Rhett McGill. We're going to get another jump ball call. Like I said, be careful here. We're going to have a JV girls game breakout, and that's kind of where we're at. I've always felt like I've seen way too many basketball games from first and second grade on up to high school, and you get too many jump balls called. You got a crew there that just wants to bail a lot of people out. You call a couple reaches early, they'll stop reaching.
Yep. There's an inordinate amount of jump balls for a varsity basketball game.
Panico comes off the curl to Mosier to Ollinger. Ollinger's drive's taken away. Good defense there by the Bears, working together in their man-to-man. 50 seconds left here in the quarter. Meade picks up his dribble up top. Tucker Miller switches off on to Levi Panico. He's working against Miller, senior on senior. Panico's hesitation. Tries to skip. Ollinger thought about the three, didn't take it. Nice job there by a couple of freshmen, Arnold and Vollmer, against that ball screen. Ball finds Panico, top of the key. He buries it with 30 seconds left. So Bears down 4, chance here with the ball at the end of the half. Ball gets poked away by Levi Panico in the backcourt out of Rhett McGill's hands. So Bears still have it, 21.5 left in the half. Zedike and Bach check in for Williams and Panico.
If you're Coach Parker, you want nothing but the last shot. You want this shot going up with 5 seconds at the most, 3 seconds at the least. Nothing other than that.
Bryce Welling works in the backcourt against the Fairview pressure, and he got left back there by himself. You're asking an awful lot to ask your sophomore ball handler to bring it up against 3 Fairview defenders, and when he tried to split them, he ran into trouble. Ball gets started with the top. McGill diagonal to Vollmer, loses the handle, and that's how it'll end. The Bears had a chance down 20-19 to get it back, even take a lead, but about 3 straight turnovers by the Bears leads to 5 points to Fairview and a 6-point lead for Fairview as we go to the half here at Bryan. A lot of good, a little bit of bad. But after last night, I think Coach Parker and his staff will take a 6-point deficit with knowing that they have been close and they're doing some really good things here against Fairview's pressure, against that good half-court defense. The whistle's got to be good for the Bears here as we go through, and obviously need to knock some more shots down as we go along. So both teams have gone into the half. Fairview's got the 25-19 lead here at the break. We're going to tally up some stats, see what we can get ready for you to report. We'll be right back here on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
If you served, you may qualify for VA health care, even if you were denied before. New rules recognize burn pit and toxic exposure claims. We can help you apply, understand benefits, and access the care you've earned. Let us help protect your health. Today and for the future, contact us to see how we can help. Williams County Veterans Service Office. Veterans serving veterans.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at Bryan High School, 8 minutes left here on the halftime clock. Fairview with a 6-point lead. It got a 5-point spurt right there at the end of the half of a couple of Golden Bear turnovers. Golden Bears had it at a 1-point deficit, had a run out, then a turnover, and a couple of 3 and a 2, and we ended up with a 6-point deficit instead of 1 or a possible lead. But from where we were last night, where we've been, Patrick Henry and Van Wert, Bears in a lot better position here, and they got to be feeling way more confident at the half tonight than they've been lately.
Yeah, absolutely. When Fairview got that up to 5 or 6 or 7, I can't remember what it was, we said they cannot let this happen again. This is where things unraveled last night. And the Bears turned Fairview over twice, I believe. They had 3 really good offensive possessions. They cut it to 1 and had the ball with 1:30 left with a chance to take the lead. So they did a great job of doing the things that hurt them last night and improving. Unfortunately, like you said, just a couple of real costly turnovers at the end of the quarter that led to a couple easy Fairview baskets. And it went from we could have taken the lead to now down 6.
All right, so let's look at some stats here from tonight's ball game. Coach Meister, Mrs. Meister, been working on putting the numbers together for us.
Yes, look at first half stats. Team stats first for Fairview. They were 6 of 12 from the 2, 4 for 13 from the 3, so 1 more 3-point field goal attempt than the 2. 1 for 2 from the free throw line. 6 offensive rebounds, 11 defensive rebounds, and Fairview turned it over 9 times. For the Bryan Golden Bears, they were 8 for 20 from the 2, 1 for 4 from the 3, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. 6 offensive rebounds themselves, 6 defensive rebounds, and they turned it over 8 times. As far as individual scoring goes, for Fairview, Logan Olinger with 1, Will Zedike with 2, Gavin Mead with 2, Brody Williams with 3, Hayden Bach with 5, and the Apaches were led in scoring by Levi Panico and Logan Mosier, both with 6. For the Bears, Bryce Welling with 2, Tucker Miller with 2, Jake Arnold with 4, Rhett McGill with 5, and they were led in scoring with 6 points by Tucker Watson.
All right, well, pretty good balance both ways. Low scoring, 25-19, not going to knock anybody's socks off as far as offensive basketball goes, but a little bit like what we talked about for Fairview coming in. You know, they've got 5 players averaging between 7 and 10 points, and everybody that plays has got at least double figures of an average, so you kind of expect that out of them. I like to see some balance out of the Bears, but it's the same story, the same thing we talk about. The shooting has got to get better for the Golden Bears. You're not a post-oriented offense. Even with Tucker Watson in there, he's in there by himself. I mean, to ask him to do everything is an awful lot. We've got a lot of perimeter guys. We need to be able to shoot the ball better from the perimeter if that's who we're going to be.
Yeah, and tonight they have to recognize, too, those perimeter guys. They're so aggressive to attack the basket, but when Logan Mosier's in the game, you can't take it in and just allow him to block shots. You're going to have to get past your defender and stop for those mid-range jumpers. That's what's open. Now, when he's out of the game, a little different story. Your attack mode can be a little different mindset. But when he's in the game, just going up and try to throw it over top of him and let him block it, it might as well be a turnover as much as a shot attempted.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that you're going to continue to do what's been successful and you're going to stay aggressive and all that, but the reality is 6'9" is 6'9", and he's got some long arms too, so I'm going to say that wingspan is probably a little bit more than 6'9", if I had to guess.
Yeah, he is definitely a great rim protector, and he allows Fairview to step out and really defend hard on the perimeter and extend their defense because they have a rim protector behind them.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. We're going to come back and talk some specific halftime adjustments for both teams, check on some out-of-town scores, and get ready for second half action here in Bryan.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Allie Held Herman is a 2004 Bryan graduate and former Lady Bear basketball player. Allie tragically passed away in 2021, but she saved the lives of many others through organ donation. Allie's family encourages you to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor.
Our mom gave the gift of life. She is a hero. We love you, Mom.
Brian Arnold and Tim Meister back with you at halftime at Bryan High School. Fairview leads Bryan 25-19 in boys non-conference basketball action. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews, O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. Got some out-of-town scores for you. I can't tell whether this is from Matthew Clark or Leo Tolstoy because it looks like War and Peace. There's so many words here. We got some girls finals. Bryan today, we talked about, the Lady Bears went down to Elida, got a 6-point win, 44-38. Bears scored 44, led by sophomore Avery Ann Fisher's 27, 17 coming in the first quarter. Avery Ann played a fantastic game today for the Lady Bears. Archbold beat Toledo Christian 63-30. Toledo Central Catholic beat Delta 51-46. Patrick Henry took a tough loss today to Liberty Benton, next Saturday's opponent for the Lady Bears, 46-42. Swanton beat Holgate 34-25. Eden beat Stritch 45-43. Ottawa Hills beat Montpelier 66-33. Fairview beat Defiant 68-53. Boys finals today. Wayne Trace beat Miller City 63-41. Holgate beat Emmanuel Christian 61-25. Paulding, in a great ball game that Matthew and I watched the end of from up here in the box, beat Montpelier 59-56. Ayersville beat Delphus Jefferson 57-51. Evergreen beat Pettysville 51-44. Continental beat North Central 59-32. And Patrick Henry beat Antwerp 67-55. Those out-of-town scores brought to you by WBNO and WQCT. No one covers Williams County sports like 100.9 B-Rock. Follow the Bryan Golden Bears all season long on Q96.5. Listen on air or online at WBNO, WQCT.com. And thank you, as always, to Matthew Leo Tolstoy Clark for his out-of-town scores.
Tolstoy, it's perfect.
Now go research that, and that'll keep you busy for the next 30 minutes or so. All right, Coach Meister, let's talk about halftime adjustments for the ball game tonight. So Golden Bears down by 6. Could use a win in the really the worst ways. What do you think Coach Parker told his kids?
I think it comes down to one simple thing, and that is take care of the basketball against Fairview's pressure. And that's going to entail a couple of things. One is that they are trapping aggressively. And when you know they're trapping as an offensive player, here's what you cannot do. Turn your back to the ball handler and run away. You have to always keep your eye on the ball, and if your man leaves to go double, you have to make yourself available because you can't dribble out of a double all the time. Eventually it's going to get to you. Also, you have to recognize the different defenses in the ring. If they cannot turn the ball over, just take care of it. Make Fairview score their half-court offense. I think Bryan's got a heck of a chance to win the game. If they continue to turn it over and give Fairview easy looks, I think it's going to be trouble. I think honestly, it is that simple. Don't over-complex things. Simplify it. Take care of the ball. Know what you have to do when you're getting trapped, and you're going to be fine.
Find a way to keep yourself in the ball game into the fourth quarter. You haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
And good things can happen if you can do that. Don't allow Fairview to get out and run and get easy buckets.
Now, the other piece of that is going to fall on the coaching staff as well, because you have to recognize when your kids, and maybe it won't happen, but if and when they get rattled, if and when they start to get back to running away from the ball, you got 4 timeouts. You got to keep this game, get it to the fourth quarter, keep your kids composed. So that's something I got to believe they're talking about on the bench as well.
All right, well, the Golden Bears will have the opening possession here of the third quarter as we get underway at Bryan High School. Rhett McGill inbounds to Jake Arnold. McGill, Arnold, Miller, Watson, and Welling on the floor for the Bears. Ollinger, Panico, Bach, Schiniger, and Mosier on the floor for the Apaches. Tucker Watson gets a post touch. Kick out to Rhett McGill. Skips it over to Jake Arnold, and the Bears stay in their offense. Arnold picks up his dribble in the paint, gets it to Welling, picks up his dribble, gives it to Watson. Back over to Arnold in front of the Bryan bench, works off a screen from Watson. Kicks to Rhett McGill, 3 on the way is short. Goes out of bounds off of Tucker Watson, who couldn't get to that miss soon enough. So Bears opening possession comes up empty, and Fairview will bring it up. Bears in a half-court defense here to start things out.
Yeah, Bears are going to start out in man.
Bryce Welling working against Logan Ollinger up top. Right elbow to Logan Mosier. Swings it to Bach, who now back to Ollinger, and they have the clear out working against Bryce Welling. Picks up his dribble. Panico up top against McGill. Panico swings it to Schiniger. Jonah Schiniger in the ball game for the Apaches. He gets it up high to Mosier. Hands off to Ollinger, works off with the screen. Fairview continues to work it around. Backdoor cut from Panico. Gets behind Jake Arnold, finishes off glass. Nice find there by Logan Mosier. 8-point lead now for Fairview. Bryce Welling will bring it up against the Fairview defense. They got a run and jump, gets it to Tucker Miller, hands it inside to Tucker Watson. He gets shot blocked by Mosier, gets the ball back, can't get his second shot to go. Chased down by McGill, gets it to Arnold. His pass gets picked off by Panico going to the corner. Panico all the way to the rim and scores. Quick four for Fairview out of the gate.
Yeah,
danger time for the Bears, down 10 right away.
It is danger time, and I think right now we've got to run a set that we know we can get a good look. If we can't, then we got to get a timeout. We got to make sure that this is a quality possession. This does not get out of hand.
Bryce Welling gets the ball poked away. Another turnover for the Bears, and then Welling he does poke it away from behind, but can't force a turnover. Goes out of bounds underneath. So 29-19, Fairview now leads on the main stop scoreboard after 4 quick ones and some turnovers from the Bears to start the third quarter here. Panico lobs up top to Ollinger, defended by Welling. Panico takes the 3 from in front of his bench, short. Bryce Welling with the rebound. Bears need a bucket. Welling walks across the timeline, hands off to Arnold, swing to Miller, to McGill. Back to Tucker Miller, top of the key, 3 is good. Tucker Miller knocks down the 3, 15 on the year for him now from out there. And a big bucket for the Bears to cut into that 10-point lead, back to 7 now.
Big bucket by the senior, nice job stepping up and getting the Bears a basket.
Nice attack and finish at the rim by Hayden Bach. Gets working off a screen up top. Got Rhett McGill to turn his shoulders, finished. Gets the lead back to 9 for Fairview. Miller inbounds to Arnold. He gets trapped in the backcourt. And we got a jump ball called. Another turnover will go to the Apaches. Bears just continue to struggle with, once the ball's inbound and that trap comes, they just have nowhere to go with the basketball.
We used to tell our kids, there's a reason they're letting you throw it into the corner. Don't throw it there. I mean, that's right where the trap is going to be, because now you have the sidelines of the third defender. So it's just little things like that the Bears have to shore up on.
And then the Bears force a 5-second call.
Nice job.
That's a really good adjustment by the Bears.
Yes.
Went man-to-man against the out-of-bounds play there. Not only did not give up anything easy, they also forced a 5-second call. So the Bears will have possession now against the Fairview pressure.
Yeah, nice job by Bryan. Nice job by the coaching staff of switching to man on out of bounds.
Officials are having a little bit of a conversation there. I'm not quite sure about what. Plans for later. Long inbound to McGill, who throws it away on the left side, trying to hit a cutting Jake Arnold, just put it way out in front. So the Bears get it at inbounds, get it across half court, and then decide to turn it over again.
Yeah, Rhett just got sped up there a little bit. He just got to be comfortable catching the ball, squaring up. He's a good enough ball handler that he can take it to the middle of the floor himself.
Bears stay in their man. Panico works against Arnold. Skip pass. Mead inside to Z-Dyke. Finishes off glass. Bears slow in the rotation. Skip pass. Beat the help. Arnold's got it in the backcourt, working against the Fairview pressure. Long ball to McGill. McGill just needs to turn and shoot that. He handed off to Miller. Hands off to Watson. Ball's on the floor. We're getting a jump ball called. It'll stay down here with the Bears. But I think the Bears passed up 2 layups there, and I'm not quite sure why.
Well, that's the recognition piece right there, because Logan Mosier's not in the game. 6'9's not on the floor. You score your layup, you get the basket. Like you said, they probably made too many passes. And they got very fortunate, because again, we got double on the inbounds pass, and everybody ran away. And you just cannot do that. So that's probably what the timeout is for, is making sure that they understand the concept of what Fairview is doing, and the chess match piece of it. If they're going to do this to you, here's what we have to do, because we're going to get layups if we do it right.
All right, so Coach Parker takes full timeout. Timeouts again sponsored by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. S&S does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729 today. Bears have the full time. They're going to have it out of bounds underneath their own basket, I believe. Down 11, need to find a way to keep this thing close. They've got to get back. They got to start chipping away. We got to start thinking in terms of how do we stay in this ball game? How do we work our way back into it? Now, there's just too much satisfaction, I think, with just trying to be in games and play the game. We need to start competing a little bit more and making better decisions.
And people have heard you and I talk about this. This is where you start playing the game in 2-minute segments. You're down 11, okay, at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Let's have it less than 11 and go from there. Keep winning 2-minute segments, and eventually you'll chip away at that.
Bears used all of that 5 seconds to get the ball inbounds. Bryce Welling now over in front of the Bryan bench, guarded by William Zedike. Hands it back to Jake Arnold. It takes a three, partially blocked by Panico. And Fairview is out with the basketball, running the other way. Panico down to Meade, bounce pass to Noah Schiniger. Shot fake gets Bryan defenders in the air, and he finishes his first 2 points and a 13-point lead for Fairview now. McGill's got it, hands it back to Tucker Miller, runs in the trap, gets it to McGill. McGill throws over the top. Tucker Watson with a good finish at the basket there.
Again, if the Bears execute, that's the look they're going to get against that press.
And Fairview quickly the other way. Hayden Bach attacks. I think we're going to get Rhett McGill with some body on the floor. There was Fairview again trying to get the ball down the floor quickly, push and attack, and get the ball back before the Bears could get themselves set up defensively.
Yeah, you know, their wings are releasing early, and Bryan wants to press after a make, and so what's happening is the 1 and 2 guards are coming up at the top of the press, and the wings are beating the big guys down the floor. So again, as a coaching staff, an adjustment they'll probably make here in the next couple minutes.
Fairview inbounds to Brody Williams,
nice.
Who checked in, poked away by Easton Kerr, who just checked in for the Bears. Welling's got it, goes right into William Zedike. Ton of contact. Block, charge, one of the two. We got a travel called. Maybe that's what the conversation was down here, where we're going afterwards. Let's keep this thing moving.
Yeah, that's got to be something. There's contact, and like you said, I don't care if it's a block or a charge. With that much contact and 3 players on the floor, a no call is exactly just it. It's not a call. In that situation, you've got to make something.
Noah Schiniger finds Logan Ollinger. Bears stay in there man-to-man. Hunter Watson and Easton Curve checked in for the Bears. McGill and Arnold getting a break. Ball up top now, Gavin Meade against Tucker Miller. Meade attacks the left block. Ball poked away to Noah Schiniger, and then he found Lauren Held in the 3rd row of the bleachers. Lauren's open, and I hear he was a shooter.
He was a very good shooter.
He's not dressed for action tonight, so a little bit errant on that pass. Turnover by Fairview.
I didn't think Lauren was ready for it, honestly.
He got a hand up.
His hands were not up.
Welling attacks all the way to the basket. He's going to get himself to the free throw line. Bryce Welling's been the leading scorer for the Bears their last 2 games. Last Saturday with Van Wert, last night against Liberty. And that's been his ball game lately. Put your head down, get it to the rack. If you can't finish, at least get to the free throw line. So that was good to see there. Bryce back at what he wants to do. Bryce Welling's first free throw from his free throw line is up and good. Welling's got 3. Started the weekend, come in the weekend averaging 7 or 8, and it's starting to creep up now again after double digits again in last night's ball game. Cooper Vollmer, the freshman, checks in for senior Tucker Watson. Welling's second free throw rattles in, 2 for 2 at the line for Bryce Welling, cuts into the Fairview lead. Back to single digits, 9-point lead. Bears need stops now. Welling working against Zedike. Bears back in their 2-3 zone. Up top to Ollinger, harassed by Welling. He gets it to Meade at the free throw line. Kicks to the corner to Jonah Schiniger. No good off front iron. Hunter Watson with the rebound, hands to Tucker Miller, and the Bears will bring it up across half court. Try to cut a little bit more into that Fairview lead. Welling again into the paint. Nice job. A little bit of a fadeaway there. Saw the shot blocker underneath the basket.
Yep.
Hit the fadeaway. Lead cut to 7 now for Fairview.
Nice move by Bryce to create space for his own jump shot right there.
You might have got away a little bit of a shuffle. Ollinger did. 3 by Zedike, no good. Defensive rebound comes down to Tucker Miller. Another opportunity here for the Bears to run some offense, get another bucket to cut into that lead. Tucker Miller jump stop, kicks to Welling up top. 1:49 left in the third. Welling again to the basket. That time he tried to get it all the way against Meister sent that one back, but the ball picked up by Tucker Miller. Tough two through some contact. Ollinger attacks against Hunter Watson. Watson forces a tough shot, but the rebound on the backside by Noah Schinninger. Putback is good. Gets a lead back to 9, 37-28. Get a 30-second timeout called by Coach Panico. (37-28), 9-point lead for Fairview. Golden Bears will have the ball, bring it the length of the floor against some Fairview pressure here, I would assume, when we come out of this. Coach Panico maybe just wanting to talk a little bit of defense, maybe wants to make some adjustments to the penetration by the Bears there. I didn't really see much of a change other than the Bears scored a couple points, so that's something that he wants to talk to his troops about.
Yeah, typically if you call a timeout with this little time left in the third quarter or any quarter other than the fourth, that means you want to make some type of an adjustment coming out, so if they're going to change their press, maybe go to some type of a trap after half court. They come out in the 1-3-1, which you've already seen, so it'll be interesting what adjustment that was made during that timeout.
Watson in the backcourt throws over the top of Panico to Miller. Miller up the sideline to Kerr, finds Hunter Watson. Hunter Watson with the open look, finish off glass. Nice little shield job by Cooper Vollmer right there too.
Nice job by the Bears.
Open look.
Again, we execute our press breaker, we get those looks.
Fairview swings around the horn. Ollinger hands off to Panico. Panico finds Jonas Schinninger left elbow. He kicks it to Ollinger. Works in the paint, off 2 feet. Jump shot's no good. Gets his own rebound. Back to Panico. Right side three is no good, but he gets run over by Bryce Welling, so he'll have 3 free throws at the Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, third generation, family owned, general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712. 50.4 left here in the third. Bears have cut it to 7, but Panico shooting 3 free throws, knocks down the first, lead back to 8. Second free throw is good. Panico comes in as a 70% free throw shooter, leading scorer for Fairview at just over 10 points a game. The last one doesn't go, but Noah Schinninger takes the rebound away from Easton Kerr. Logan Mosier ends up with it. Ball out to Panico. Panico swung to Ollinger, around to Jonas Schinninger. Long skip to Levi Panico, left side three. We're going to get an offensive call. Noah Schinninger, 35, I think, trying to screen to open up. Panico for that three, gets called for the moving screen. So turnover for Fairview, 36.8 left on the main stop scoreboard here in the third quarter. Bears inbounds. Fairview continues to stay in their pressure. Watson gets it up the sideline to Kerr. And Kerr is fouled by Noah Schinninger, picks up a second quick foul. And that's going to be 3, I believe, on the senior. 29.9 left on the clock. Miller gets it into Welling. Welling tried the right side and just lost control of the ball. Ollinger will bring it back up this way for Fairview. Hands off to Panico. Kicks to Noah Schinninger, left side three, no good off back iron. Great check out by Cooper Vollmer on the backside. Gets it to Welling. Welling's in a push and then dribbles it off his foot. Ends up in Noah Schinninger's hands. Just tough luck the last couple trips down there for Bryce Welling.
We're going to have to get another ball handler in the game. You just can't ask Bryce Welling to play that position. That's unfair to him.
Yep. 3-point shot for Fairview doesn't go at the end of the third. So Fairview leads by 9, 39-30. Bears cut back into what was an 11 or 12-point lead at one point. You're going to have to make some noise right away here if you're the Bryan Golden Bears. We'll take a break on the Bryan Golden Bears Sports Network. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
The Bryan Parks Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Fairview will have the ball first here to start the fourth quarter at Bryan High School and has a 9-point lead. Ollinger, Panico, Mosier, Bach, and Williams on the floor for Fairview. Arnold, Watson, Kerr, Vollmer, and Miller on the floor for the Golden Bears. Bears start out in their zone and need stops and buckets to try to get back into this ball game as quick as possible here to start the fourth quarter.
First 2 minutes are going to be really important for Bryan.
Panico kicks to Williams, left side three, misses everything, but Hayden Bach's there to pick it up on the backside. Bears didn't find him. He found the basketball, finished, and it gets the lead back to 11. So even off of an air ball miss, Fairview is able to convert and find some points. Arnold attack left side. Shots partially blocked by by Mosier. Tucker Miller comes up with inside. Half hook comes off the iron. Mosier gets the rebound. Ball quickly ahead to Ollinger, who finishes at the rim. So pretty much the same way the third quarter started. 4 quick points for Fairview. Takes that 9-point lead to 13. Bears get it across half court. Arnold pushes. Ball fake to Vollmer. Shot altered by Mosier. Ollinger again going the other way. And he's fouled by Kerr. Thought about taking the charge and then kind of turned his shoulders at the last second. Ollinger gets the layup to go. And he'll shoot a free throw here.
This is
try to put Fairview up by 16.
This is one where I think we have to think about a timeout. We have 3 left. It went from 9 or 11 to 16 right away within the first minute and 7 seconds. You know, it's close to now where you're getting where you got to maximize your possession. So just to settle the troops down, you have 3 timeouts. Might be a thought process to think about taking one.
Free throw by Ollinger was no good. So the Bears get it into the front court. Welling attacks. Too strong off the backside. Rebound down to Mosier. Fairview quickly the other way. Bach's going to hoist a 3. Line drive 3 is good. Hayden Bach with his second 3, maybe third 3 of the night, and 12 points now for the junior. Comes in averaging 9, has 12. He's been really good. Arnold bounce pass into Vollmer. Vollmer gets the big man in the air. Mosier then goes up through him. So he'll go to the free throw line. Best move we've made so far at Logan Mosier tonight by the freshman Cooper Vollmer. Understanding a good shot fake, get the defender in the air, and then right up through his chest. You're going to shoot 2 free throws like that all night long.
Yeah, Cooper, nice job of showing ball, getting up in the air, and then also going into and protecting the ball, drawing contact and getting 2 free throws.
Cito and McGill will check in for Kerr and Watson. Hunter Watson, Tucker Watson at the scorer's table after Vollmer knocks down his first free throw. Second free throw, Welling Construction free throw line is good, and Cooper Vollmer just continues to play with a lot of confidence. Good things ahead for that young man. Got a lot of time in football this year on the football field. Some of those freshmen that had to play a little bit too early, but got some good experience against some bigger bodies, and that confidence is carried over into the winter for him.
Yeah, he's a young man that just keeps getting better and better every day. Every time you see him play, he's doing things you didn't see him do the game before.
Fairview run a little bit of a flex. Came through their hands twice and back to another Fairview player both times. Bears in their man-to-man. Get it down into Panico, working against Welling on the left block. Tries a post move, leaves that jump shot short. Rebound to McGill, gets it to Arnold. Fairview stays with the trap. Arnold to McGill in the middle. 3-on-1 for the Bears. Watson will go at Mosier. Foul has to be called by the official at half court because the one looking right at it said, "I got dinner plans here, pal. What are we doing? Swallow the whistle." Watson will go to the free throw line. That foul is the second one on Logan Mosier. Rattles in and good. Tucker Watson now with 9, right about his season average. Hovers around 9 or 10 points on the year. second free throw. Welling Construction free throw line is no good. Short off front iron. Ball goes out of bounds off Fairview, though, so the Bears will retain possession. Fairview leads 48-33, 5.5 minutes left here in the ball game. We'll get 3 subs in for Fairview as Zedike, Jonah Schinninger, and Gavin Mead check in. They're in with Panico and Mosier. Asher Cito tries to get the ball in bounds, gets it to Arnold. Arnold gets his drive taken away right side, gives to Tucker Watson. Watson back to McGill, back to Arnold. Bears set their offense. Arnold enters. Flare to Arnold from Watson. Bryce Welling now top of the key. He calls for the screen. Wraps that pass to McGill. Shot fake by Jake Arnold gets Levi Panico in the air. You might want to read which way the defender's jumping, because Panico came down and flattened him. It sounded and looked bad, but
needless to say, great shot fake.
It was a tremendous shot fake. Glad we work on that. The guy he works on that with in the gym can't jump like that, so he's just not used to that. Watson, the handoff. Nice job on a backdoor cut by Arnold. Can't get the layup to go. Probably couldn't figure out which one of the 3 rims to try to put it in as he went to the rack right there. He's going to go to the rim. He spent the entire fall being hit harder than that every night, about 30 times a night, so he should be able to shake that one off. First free throw is front iron, back iron, and good for Jake Arnold. Gets him to 5 on the night, about halfway to his average. He'll get another chance here from the Welling Construction free throw line. 14-point lead for Fairview. Second free throw is off right, tipped out of bounds by Tucker Watson. We get a timeout here for Bryan. Coach Parker wants a 30-second timeout to talk to the troops. We'll stay here.
Yeah, I like that. Again, I think that's just one of the things. You bring your young kids together and say, look, it's 14 points. There's 5 minutes left. We get 2 or 3 stops in a row, get 2 or 3 baskets in a row. Let's get this thing under 10 and see what happens. So like the timeout. I want to see what they adjust to defensively. Will they go back to a man? Will they try to go back to their press once or twice to see if they can get a quick turnover? On the other side, I think Coach Panico is going to talk to them about, look, at this point, time is our friend.
Yep.
So let's make sure our offensive possessions aren't crazy quick. Let's make sure we're getting good shots and running our offense when we get into our half-court sets.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Fairview, it doesn't do you any good to try to speed anything up. You're sitting at 48 points. You want to finish by running your offense and working some things out. A week until you play again, so you want to time some things up against another team. Inbound here for Fairview. Mead works it up the floor. Nice job by Bryce Welling. Pokes that ball away from Mead to McGill to Cito. Cito leaves the layup short, followed by McGill. He can't get it to go, and the ball's going to go out of bounds off Tucker Watson. 2 more layup misses for the Bears.
Bears got exactly what they wanted. They switched to a man, got a little double team and a turnover, got a good look, and just couldn't convert.
Bears stay with that full court man. Ollinger gets around Welling, picks up his dribble, gets it back to Jonah Schinninger. Now over to William Zedike. Arnold switches off onto him. Zedike to Ollinger, working up top against Welling. Now Fairview's in a little bit of almost like a 4 corners look, trying to spread the Bears out in their man-to-man.
Yeah, it's a very interesting offensive set. It's almost like a 4 corners, but they're keeping their post inside.
Definite spread for round 1.
Yeah, typically 4 corners, you bring your post up to the top of the key and you can run some things off of him, but they're choosing to keep Logan Mosier low.
Back there, back door by Ollinger, kicks to Mosier. Back up top. Fairview continues to burn some clock here. So that pass gets poked out of bounds by Jake Arnold.
You know, the danger in this, if you're Fairview, is sometimes you get a little complacent. Sometimes you throw some passes that are a little bit not as crisp as what you would. So if you're Bryan, I think to about the 3-minute mark, you play this, you try to turn them over, you get out and force them to put the ball on the floor.
Ollinger gets the ball poked away in the paint, comes right back to him. He finds Zedike up top. Bears just cannot buy a break. When there's a loose ball, it seems like it always ends up where you don't want it. Bears try to run and jump. Ball went to Zedike, who found Mosier, but we're going to get a whistle. And a foul on Jake Arnold is a call, his first, team second. 3:38 left here in the fourth quarter. Fairview leads by 14. Going into a little bit of a stall here to try to burn out the fourth quarter clock. Bears staying there man-to-man against the out-of-bounds play, take away the lob. Now Fairview has it. Panico swings to Ollinger. Ollinger's working against McGill. McGill's going to get called for a block up top. Third foul. McGill's second, third on the team. So we'll see if Fairview continues to just try to bleed clock in his possession to work against the Bears man-to-man. Panico in the backcourt works against Bryce Welling. Welling got him to pick his dribble up. Panico gets it to Jonas Schinninger, back to Panico, back to Jonas Schinninger, and now the Bears have to rotate in their defense. Panico gets it to the top of the key, back to William Zedike. Zedike works against Arnold, gets it up top to Ollinger.
Yeah, you're at the 3-minute mark. Now I think you have to foul. I think you have to at least give yourself a chance to make a run here, and you have to foul.
Yeah. Bears tried to run a double there, didn't get it. There's that lazy pass we talked about, and Kerr pokes it away but can't chase it down. Back to Panico. Ball now finds Ollinger in front of his bench, skip to Zedike. Arnold tries to poke it away from behind, and there we get a whistle called. That one on Easton Kerr. 2:35 left. Fairview's been pretty successful, knocked about a minute and a half off the clock so far here.
4:10. They had the ball with 4:10 when they started the possession.
Some 95 seconds, not bad by me.
Excellent.
Considering I wasn't even paying attention, that's a pretty good guess. Inbounds play for Fairview.
And I know your math skills, it's really impressive.
Even more impressive. And there's going to be the fifth foul by the Bears. Bryce Welling going to hold on Jonas Schinninger. So Welling's second foul. Bears there needed to foul. Going to put Jonas Schinninger on the Welling Construction free throw line. Jonas Schinninger comes in averaging 7 a ball game on the year. He's shooting about 80% from the free throw line. So whatever Fairview's doing, we want to do the same, but then he goes and the announcer jinx works as he misses the first one short off front iron.
Yeah, that makes Fairview 3 for 6 from the line tonight.
Asher Cito checks back in for Easton Kerr. Second free throw is long. Bryce Welling pulls down the rebound, has Jake Arnold out in front. He goes at the basket, finishes a layup. And the Bears quickly into pressure, and there we get a full timeout called by Jacob Parker. Full time for the Bears. We're going to take it with them. 2:21 left in the ball game. Bears down by 12.
The historic Bryan Arts and Education building is being renovated for the next generation, transforming it into a welcoming, accessible space where performances and events can be comfortably enjoyed. The $6.2 million project adds lobby and backstage space, new seating, lights and sound system, accessibility, and additional parking. Because here in Bryan, art connects us. Your support, big or small, makes a lasting impact, inspiring generations to come. Donate and learn more at bryanarts.org.
Discover top quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
I am blind, but I need not see. I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free.
Back at Bryan High School, 2:21 left on the game clock. Fairview 48, Bryan 36. Fairview will have the ball working the length of the court coming out of this full timeout. Brought to you by S&S Directional Boring. Bears in full court man, trying to cause some issues. If you can't get your turnover, you're going to have to commit some fouls here. Hope Fairview stays cold from the line. Panico inbounds to Jonas Schinninger, trapped in the corner. Easton Kerr, Bryce Welling,
turnover.
Picked off by Jake Arnold, gets it to Easton Kerr, jump shot, good. Bears need to do the same thing, find a guy and match up. Ollinger's got it, pushes it into the front court, finds Levi Panico. Bears trap. Ball gets swung around the horn. Now the Bears just need to find somebody to foul. Can't run two guys at a guy. And then Zedike will get fouled. Pick your bear on that one. Either Welling or Arnold will get the pushing foul. Looks like Arnold picks up his second. That'll send William Zedike to the line. All-State senior quarterback. Comes off the bench and does great things for Coach Panico's squad.
Looks like Arnold took a knee to the side, too. He's got a little rub going on.
First free throw is no good, so the Bears are getting what they want.
Yep.
If we can get the fouls a little bit faster. If we can keep Fairview missing, got to get the ball out quick and get some shots up. Second free throw is good for Zedike. 11-point lead. Fairview continues to press, if nothing else, just to make the Bears do this, be slow up the
absolutely.
floor. McGill gets a screen in the backcourt. Finds Cito. Cito's three on the way, no good. Rebound backside by Jake Arnold. Finds Tucker Watson, finds Bryce Welling. Bryce Welling, great find of Rhett McGill underneath. That's the other thing, Welling's been really good lately. He's got some assists the last couple ball games off of his good penetration. And in the backcourt, Cito will foul Zedike again. 9-point lead for Fairview.
A nice job by the Bears, just a 10-1 run in the last minute and a half of the game.
86 seconds left on the main stop scoreboard here.
Great job of competing.
Yes. Better than just being out there. Let's find a way to do something productive, and the Bears have been productive here with their defense. Zedike's free throw, no good off back iron. Bears need to probably think about trying to get some threes up at some point also, try to take a little bit more out of this lead. Attack some Fairview chest when you go to the rim, maybe.
Even with foul, I think you're looking at 4, maybe 5 max possessions the rest of the game.
That free throw is good for Zedike. 10-point lead for Fairview. Hayden Bach will check in for William Zedike. Fairview stays in their full court. Man-to-man, ball into Arnold working against Olinger. He finds Cito, who gets the ball poked away on the right side. Out of bounds, stay down here with the Bears. 1:18 left. Bears need to get the ball in, get a shot up quickly.
3 or take it to the basket, because next foul, they're also shooting free throws.
Arnold gets it into McGill. Swings to Cito. Cito finds Watson, works against Mosier. Mosier blocks the shot. Arnold swings to Cito. Cito's three is short. And now the run out for Olinger. Cito tries to hustle back. At least contested the shot enough that Olinger missed the layup, but he also got enough of him that he'll send him to the free throw line. Chance to get the lead now to 11 or 12 for Fairview, as Logan Olinger Jr. will go to the line. Averages 10, has 6 on the night tonight for Fairview. Pretty balanced though for Fairview. 2 with 12 and 2 with 6 just on the board right now. That free throw is no good as well. So Fairview's at least done their part from the free throw line to try to help us out a little bit.
Yeah, this has been untypical of them this year. They shot the free throw fairly well. Tonight they have struggled a little bit. That makes them 5 for 12 from the line, I believe.
Untypical and abnormal for Fairview tonight.
Abnormal, very abnormal.
Second free throw is good. Tucker Miller's checked in for the Bears. He gets it into Bryce Welling. Welling working against William Zedike back in the ball game for Fairview. Welling gets it all the way deep. Kick out to Cito. Cito's going to try another three. That one's no good off left iron. Rebound down to Olinger. Fairview gets it across half court. Up top to William Zedike, to Panico. Bears in a little bit of scramble mode. Tucker Watson tried to force a steal, but gets a foul instead. That'll put Logan Mosier on the line with 36.8 left. Fairview lead at 11. Bears did a good job of cutting it to single digits, just couldn't get over the hump with enough stops and buckets to get themselves back into the ball game. Free throw is good for the 6'9" junior. Logan Mosier now with 7 points, just under his 9-point average on the season. Second free throw is good as well. Free throw line's been a big difference. Fairview's been there a lot more than the Golden Bears have been tonight. Arnold works it up the sideline, gets the ball to Watson, finds Cito, left corner three. There he goes, Asher Cito. knocks down the three. Coach Parker calls timeout. Lead at 10, 26.5 left on the main stop scoreboard. We'll stay here as the two coaches talk to their teams. Coach Meister, like you said, Bears have continued to compete right to the end tonight. Done some decent things here in the fourth quarter. You got to be happy with some things that we've seen offensively. You know, just it's those bugaboos that have come up over and over and come back to haunt the Bears. You know, the shooting hasn't been great. We've missed some shots at the rim. 6'9" player inside tonight. It's been a difference maker because a lot of the Bears ball game, we're going to see that with a three-point shot. You take away Cito's 4 looks here in the fourth quarter. Bears they don't shoot a lot of threes. They don't shoot the three extremely well. And then when you have to try to go inside and you're going against 6'9" with long arms, you're not going to have a lot of success. And we've seen that tonight cause some trouble for the Bears offense.
Yeah, and if you look back at this basketball game, there are basically 2 stretches that really hurt them. The stretch at the end of the first half when we had the ball with a minute and a half and had a chance to take the lead, and it went from that to I think 6 or 7 at halftime. And we talked about how important the first 2 minutes of the third quarter were. And the next thing you know, we're down 15 and have to call timeout. You take away those 2 stretches, this is a little bit different. But at this point, with a young team, you're still trying to understand the process. So you're going to play this out. I want to see them foul. I want to see them drag this game out, because you're going to be in the game later on this year where it could be a 1 or 2 point game, and these are the things that you have to do well and learn.
Bears pressure just about forces a turnover there. Easton Kerr with good hustle, about tipped it away from Panico from behind. Fairview continues to play keep away, throwing it in the 4 corners.
Got it.
That ball gets poked away by Jake Arnold. He's got it. He'll pick it up. He'll hoist a 3. No good off front iron. Easton Kerr battling with a couple of Fairview players there. Ball goes out of bounds off of Fairview. So Bears will inbound. 3.8 left, down 10. Just get themselves a shot here. All of their out of bounds play. Inbound to Miller. Miller attacks, runner in the lane, no good off front iron, and that's how it'll end. 10-point win for the Apaches, 53-43. Fairview comes to Bryan when it walks out with a 10-point win. Golden Bears showed good heart at the end, continued to compete all the way to the end. Did a better job, I thought, in the second half against pressure than what they did in the first. Didn't turn the ball over against that Fairview pressure, made some better decisions. Just need to continue to work on being better, more efficient on offense. But the Bears just continue to struggle offensively. And I think if they can get themselves to a point of efficiency there, the effort's there. Defensively, we show flashes of being a pretty good defensive team, good defensive rebounding team, even when we're outsized like we have been the last couple of nights. So, you know, if we can find a way to nail that stuff down, it's been a tough stretch for the Bears. Mentioned that before. Double weekend last weekend, double weekend this weekend against no slouches. You know, next Friday we go Evergreen, Saturday Bowling Green, so it doesn't get any easier anytime soon. The Golden Bears need to keep plugging away, working hard in practice for Coach Parker, and working on trying to find a way to get things turned around. So we're going to take a break here on the Golden Bears Sports Network, come back and talk about stats and wrap things up here from Bryan High School. Fairview wins by 10, 53-43. We'll be right back after this break.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at Bryan High School here with Tim Meister. I'm Brian Arnold. The Apaches come to town tonight, win by 10 over the Golden Bears. So another double loss weekend for the Golden Bears as they try to get things figured out on the boys' side. Coach Meister got some stats. Tell the story for us tonight.
Yeah, let's look at Fairview's team stats first. They were outstanding from the field tonight. They were 15 for 25 from the 2, 5 for 20 from the 3. Their bugaboo was they were only 8 for 15 from the free throw line, which again, they're a really good free throw shooting team, so that was a little bit of an anomaly tonight. Fairview got 10 offensive rebounds, 19 defensive rebounds, turned it over 19 times. I know Coach Panico is not going to be happy with that, but sometimes with the style they play, you have to take the good with the bad with that. For the Bears, they were 14 for 38 from the 2, 3 for 12 from the 3, 6 for 11 from the free throw line. Bears did get 15 offensive rebounds tonight, 13 defensive rebounds. They themselves turned it over 15 times. As far as individual scoring goes, for Fairview, Gavin Mead with 2, Noah Schinninger with 2, Jonas Schinninger with 2, William Zedike with 6, Logan Olinger with 6, Logan Mosier with 8, but again, a tremendous effect on the game with his defensive presence at the rim. Hayden Bach and Levi Vanico led the Apaches both with 12 points. Every player on the Fairview roster scored tonight in the varsity action. You talked about their balance before the game, and I think that was a key for them. Looking at the Bears, freshman Cooper Vollmer came in and chipped in with 2. Easton Kerr with 2. Hunter Watson with 2. Asher Cito with a late 3 for a total of 3 points. Tucker Miller with 5. Bryce Welling with 6. Rhett McGill with 7. Jake Arnold with 7. And the Bears were led tonight by senior center Tucker Watson with 9.
When you talked about it, that balanced scoring from Fairview, I think one of the things I was impressed with as we watched that game is the way Coach Panico is really able to play about 8 or 9 guys interchangeably. I mean, the only one you really notice a difference on is when the 6'9" guy's out there,
right,
but they still have guys who can play inside. Noah Schinninger, the 6'2" senior, comes in and plays bigger than what he is because he likes to push people around and use his strength.
Well said.
So he's not a shot blocker necessarily like what Mosier is,
right,
but he creates space, he gets some rebounds. So you got to feel pretty good if you're Coach Panico of being able to run so many similar pieces onto the floor, and that balance shows that you don't lose a whole lot when that second wave comes in.
No, great point. In the way they play, they press so much and play so much pressure defense. You're right, that's a big factor for them. And it's nice when you have a senior Levi Panico who runs the show. I mean, they never got out of control tonight. Even when Brian made their runs, they settled down and said they needed a big shot. Levi would make it. When they needed a big pass, Levi would get guys in the right spot. And again, they're more than just him. But my point being, when you have a senior point guard that's been through the battles and you can put the ball in his hands, that sure calms things down. But I thought the Bears played awful hard tonight. If they could have taken away the one stretch where it got to 15, I think it would have been a little bit of a different game. But we talked about it. When you build a program and you play young kids, things like this are going to happen. You're just going to have to make sure you learn from it and keep growing and keep getting better. It's the great thing about basketball. We talked about it. It's not like football. You're trying to make the playoffs. Last I knew, they invited everybody. So you still have a chance, if you're Bryan, to get better and play your best basketball in February and March.
Yeah, and you look at that roster, 9 guys on that roster. No one played tonight that was a sophomore or a freshman for Fairview. And you know, realistically, the Golden Bear JVs tonight won a great ball game, had a running clock on Fairview's JVs. So, you know, Fairview's still in a really good position. They're able to run 9 guys on the floor, all juniors and seniors, 6 of them being juniors. So they've got a lot of kids that'll be back next year in that junior class that to be seniors, to be senior class. Right. And, you know, you've got things looking pretty good as far as that goes for the next year or two if you're a Fairview Apache. On the Bryan side, you're trying to hang your hat on the fact that your JVs have been really good this year, only lost a couple of ball games. Talking about the big win tonight, Cooper Vollmer's been great. Asher Cito on the JV. Tyler Tipton's been fantastic down there. Hoping that that group of kids can morph with your group of youngsters that are playing varsity right now. You've got one junior in the program, and he plays some JV. So realistically, next year you're going to look at a team that's very sophomore and junior heavy, and you're hoping that those minutes that those guys are getting this year are going to pay off, and all of these growing pains are going to be something that the kids can learn from, take into the summer, and get better from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other positive take from this is, you know, this game could have quickly turned into what last night did in a hurry. I mean, it could have gotten 15 to 20 to 25 to 30.
And it looked like it was going to go that way.
It did, and a nice job by the kids of hanging in there, making some plays, getting some turnovers, keeping themselves in the game where they got it down to 10, and I think they may have cut it below 10 even. They went on that little 10-12 run there in the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. So I think there's other things you can build on as well. Again, as harsh as this sounds, I don't mean to sound harsh, but the reality of it is we play a ton of freshmen and sophomores. I mean, there's times when there's not anybody but a freshman or sophomore on the floor. Unfortunately, this is varsity basketball, so you can't use that as a constant excuse, and I don't think they're going to. My point being is that, you know what, you played enough basketball games now that, you have to have that mentality of, I'm one of the best players playing at the varsity level because I've earned that. You don't attach a grade or an age to it.
Absolutely not. Well, another thing that's a reality is it's a Saturday night. There's a good chance it's just you and me talking to each other anyway, and we could be doing this anywhere. So we could probably get this thing wrapped up. Snow's a-coming. We're going to wait and see what this storm does. Anybody that's still hanging on with us at this point, thank you for still paying attention.
And we're going to mention this later on, and I know you won't, but I'm going to. But if I'm not mistaken, Josie Arnold had a 3 in today's game against Elida, and I believe this, without question or doubt, now makes her the career leader in made three-point games in Bryan girls basketball history.
Should be a career leader now.
And I know you won't say it because that's how you guys raise your kids and you teach them to be humble, but I'm going to say it. So step away from being an announcer real quick, and just as a dad, you got to be real proud because she works her tail off. She's a great representative of Bryan Athletics. Oh, my gosh, she's a better person than she is an athlete. But you have to be proud. It's got to be a fun time in the Arnold household to see her hard work pay off.
Man, there's so many things I could have went with there. Low bar on being a better person than an athlete. I'd like to thank all of those rebounds and passes that somebody gave to her all those times to help her knock some shots down. But, yeah, with all of our kids, I can say for sure that I haven't had to drag them kicking and screaming into gyms or into the bets or onto a field, into a cage. And if we ever have, then there's just days that we didn't go. That'd be the one thing that I would tell parents everywhere is if you got to drag them kicking and screaming, then go find something else to do because they aren't going to love it. It's those days when they come and get you and say, hey, we need to get to the gym, or I need to go get some cuts, or whatever it is. Those are the days you always say yes to that, because no matter what you're doing, it's not as important as what they want to do. But I give Josie a lot of credit, and she followed a couple of sisters who worked really hard too. So that's something I think all of them look at and say, I think Kayla and Addie would like a piece of that too, just so they can say they got something and say, hey, you know what, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have been at all those ball games and you wouldn't wanted to do all that stuff. So they want some credit too.
I guarantee you that conversation, if it hasn't happened already, it will happen in the Arnold household.
And there's going to be, you may have that, but you may have that, but. And that's the other thing. They all like to work hard, but they're all a little bit competitive at the same time. So we enjoy that.
What I like about Josie, too, is she's always gotten in the framework of the team concept. It's not like she's went out and just chucked shots and tried to get to this point.
Right.
And, again, that speaks volumes for Todd Grosjean and his program. And I know Josie being the first ones to thank her teammates and her coaches and everybody else. So, again, I just want to forget that. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in the next girls broadcast. But congratulations, Josie Arnold. Career leaders in three-point field goals made.
All right, well, our next game, speaking of that, will be Evergreen at Bryan facing our girls basketball team in a big league game. Evergreen girls have been playing better lately. Lady Bears pulled out a big league win at Liberty Center on Thursday, won again today, so they got kind of the ship is righted back to 500, getting closer to tournament time. I think just 5 games now left in the regular season, 6 guaranteed at this point, so getting right down to the nitty-gritty in the very end of that girls basketball season. So that'll be our next broadcast, Evergreen at Bryan Thursday night. I want to thank our crew. John Dalrymple doing a great job for us as always as our director. Robotics run by Trinity Sampson. Replay tonight done by Colton Sheeline. Our cameras were operated by Haley Strine, Lily Walker, and Easton Heater. And our trainee, Dylan Steele. Back at the radio station, we want to thank Rick Armentrout at Q96.5. This student broadcast is produced by the Golden Bear Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any duplication or other use of this broadcast, including descriptions or account of the game without the express written consent of the Bryan City School District, is prohibited. One final time for all of us at the Golden Bear Sports Network with Tim Meister. I'm Brian Arnold. Fairview comes into Bryan, wins by 10. Have a great night. Stay safe, everybody.